What's up, guys? It's your boy Christopher. Let's get into this Cowboys Texans game coming up Monday night. Uh, this is a must-win game for the Texans. They have lost the last two primetime games, and to me, the whole idea on the Houston Texans has been that they haven't played up to par. They lost against the Jets, who right now I believe are have a slim lead on the Indianapolis Colts, who are a bad team. We've swept them in the division. They lost to the Lions, who right now are just destroying the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, man, the Jags were so bad. They're so bad this year. That's the team, by the way, that, before the season started, I actually thought they were going to be the Texans' main competition in the division. They're a two-win team, about to be 2-9. I think the Lions hung like 42 on them already. Man, terrible, terrible team. Uh, Trevor Lawrence is on the bench, a guy who I thought would take that next step this year. He did not. He's benched. Mac Jones is in the game, and they're getting their asses kicked right now. And so you've lost to both of these teams in recent weeks, both primetime games. The third primetime game you've got against the Cowboys. You absolutely cannot, positively cannot lose this freaking game on Monday night, man, if you're the Texans. Um, and I think as far as the fan base goes, Texans fans have been looking forward to this game all year, man. I have to imagine a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of Houston Texans fans are in Dallas right now, hoping that the Texans go up there and just beat the crap out of the Dallas Cowboys, man, because the Cowboys are a very, very bad team. Um, Dak Prescott out for the season. Cooper Rush is their quarterback. If he struggles, they'll probably put Trey Lance in to see what he's got. I think they put him in the game last week against the Eagles. I believe he had a pick. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, man, this Cowboys team is terrible. Um, this is the matchup that, kind of lost its luster after Dak Prescott went down and after the Cowboys just started plummeting and just playing bad football all season long. Because I think as fans, not even just Texans and Cowboys fans, just NFL fans in general, they really wanted to see, Dak Prescott versus CJ Stroud, the whole CJ Stroud, Micah Parsons thing going on in the offseason with the podcast and all that stuff. So I think in that sense it's lost its luster a little bit. But yeah, this is for the Texans, this is a game that you have to win. You have the Jags and Titans up next after this, and then you've got that, tough three-game stretch in 10 days. You got the Dolphins, you got the Chiefs, and you got the Ravens. And so I think they have to win, especially got to win tomorrow. And really, I think they have like all three games coming up are must-win games because we know what this team looks like, against good competition this season. They haven't really impressed us in that facet. And so these three games you got to win, and then the next three I mentioned earlier, the Dolphins, Chiefs, and the Ravens. You see what happened. Those teams are pretty damn good. So these next three are must-win games. If you win those, you're 9-4, and you go into the later three with 9 wins. You feel a little bit better about where you're at. But yeah, must win games. So let's get into this Dallas Cowboys and Texans game. Cooper Rush is a quarterback. Their Texans defense, I expect them to sh pretty much shut the Cowboys down, whatever they want to do. Um, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's not a whole lot of breaking down I could do with this game right here because the Cowboys are just terrible. They're awful. Um, the Texans should beat their ass on Monday. That's pretty much all I've got for you guys. But Cooper Rush is going to be their quarterback. The only guy really that scares me on their offense is CD Lamb. They don't really have a running game. They can't run block. I believe they got like two rookie offensive linemen. Um, and one of the guys that, got hurt last week that has had a really good season, a rookie Kamari Lassiter for the Texans, practiced on Friday, so I'm not sure if he's going to play. If he plays for this defense, I have that much more confidence in our defense to shut down whatever the Cowboys are doing. And as far as the Texans offense, I mean this thing it's been an issue all season long. We know we've heard from Texans fans about the whole Bobby Slug situation. People want him fired, people don't want him fired. Not taking accountability for how bad the second half offense is. You know, I don't have to tell you guys, the Bobby Sloak situation. For those of you guys who've been paying attention all season long, we know what it is. Hasn't been great. The second half offense has been terrible. The offensive line has been terrible. Pass protection's been terrible. It was a little bit better last week, but all in all, it hasn't been good. And you know what? The Cowboys are that bad of a team that this might be a get right game for the Texans offense. Um, that being said, do not underestimate Micah Parsons on this defense. Um, Even though the Dallas defense has been terrible all season long, I still think Micah Parsons is one of those players that he's a game breaker. He's a game changer on defense, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL. If you let him wreck your game plan, he's going to do that. And even though the Eagles, beat the Cowboys ass last week, Micah Parsons, had a really good game. He was dominant. And so those two guys on the Cowboys on offense, CeeDee Lamb on defense, Micah Parsons are the guys to watch if you're the Texans, obviously, probably their two best players on their team. And, you know, for the Texans offense, I think this is one of those games where because of how bad you've been trying to protect your quarterback, I know a lot of fans aren't going to want to hear this, but I think this is one of those games where they're going to try to run the ball a lot. And I'm going to get into this on another video. I've talked about it a little bit on my TikTok about how, Bobby Slowick tends to be obsessed with calling run plays, goes run heavy. And I think, unfortunately for the fans, I know this is not something we want to see or we want to hear, but for this particular game, that's probably the best thing to do. And when I say that, I don't mean, last week we criticized Bobby Slow for calling run plays on like third and long. That's not what I mean when I say they're gonna have to be run heavy, but I think they are going to want to establish Joe Mixon. And because Nico Collins is coming back, um, hopefully if they're able to run play action off of that, get Nico Collins open for some big plays, I think that's really going to help them. So like regardless, I just don't think we're gonna see in any game at any point this year where we're just gonna be like, okay, here's the ball, CJ Stroud, throw it 50 times a game, save us as an offense and just put points up there on the board. I don't think that's how any of these games are gonna go. So I'll stick to my point where they're gonna run Joe Mixon. They're gonna try to get him going. Um, and you know what? This week might be one of those weeks where the Cowboys are just so bad stopping the run that even though our offensive line is not good at all at run blocking, hasn't been all year, I think this is one of those games where they might have a little bit of success with it. And so let's get to the three keys to the game for the Texans to win this game. Number one, Nico Collins. He's back. Nico Collins is back. Um, I mean, one of the best receivers in the NFL. You know, I don't think that's doubtful at all to say that. Uh, when when he's been on this offense, you see how much different the offense looks, even though it's not that big of a jump. Um, hasn't been that big of a jump in like the points per game department when he's been out there. He just means so much to the offense. He's a go-to guy for CJ Stroud. They can You can move him all over the field, involve him in this in the short passing game, the screen game. He's a deep ball target, and man, it's gonna be so good to have him back because we missed him. So Nico Collins is number one. Number two, bring pressure as a defense, man. The Texans have been pretty good in bringing pressure all year long. Last week against the Lions, they were pretty good. They forced Jared Goff into a bunch of turnovers. I think they're going to be able to do that tomorrow night against the Cowboys. Um, I don't think I'm shocking anybody when I say, do we really trust Cooper Rush to go out there and just dice us up as a defense? I don't think so. I think the way to, beat a young quarterback like that who hasn't been on the field a whole lot, blitz him, pressure him. Um, yeah, blitz him, pressure him, make him make decisions, make him beat you. And like I said, the only guy I'm really worried about on this offense for the Cowboys is CeeDee Lamb. Other than that, like I think the Texans defense is pretty good. Top five defense, pretty good. You know, I think they're good enough to put a stop to this Cowboys offense is what they've got going on over there. And third, the Texans um have to run the ball well. Last week, 1.8 yards per carry. It wasn't good. I know we were up 23-7, but when you're able to run the ball, it helps you in the second half to kind of put things away a little bit. You're not having constant third and outs, constant punts like they did last week in the second half. So I think they have to establish Joe Mixon. Um, Not to say that they should do it early, but I think at some point in the game, uh, they are going to do that because the Cowboys' run defense is terrible. Um, and so those are my three keys to the game. Nico Collins, defense, showing out like we know they can. And number three will be Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is going to be over 100 yards. And I think the Texans are going to win 27-16. You know, I'm not gonna pick them to score 30 points, man, because they haven't done it all year. Besides the Patriots game, I think, and I think the against the Colts we scored like 28 or 29. I don't remember, but yeah, only scored 30 plus once, I believe, this season. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, man, I'm gonna say Texans 27, Cowboys 16, and man, there's already been shots fired by the Cowboys. Linebacker DeMarvion Overshown for the Cowboys, pretty much saying the Cowboys still run shit in Texas as far as football goes. So the Texans, man, I'm gonna need you guys to please win this game. I can't hear any more shit talk from my Cowboys friends. Like, we've been hearing it too long. We're little brother this. Um, you know, the Texas Rangers beat the Astros in the ALCS last year and they won the World Series. So, we haven't just been hearing the BS in football only. It's baseball too. And, the Mavericks and the Rockets played um earlier this season. We were able to beat the Mavericks, so at least we've got that on the Dallas people. But man, Texans, please, please, please win on Monday night. That's gonna be it for my preview, guys. And you guys can follow me on my social media below. It should be down at the bottom of the screen. It's Christopher V2 on all platforms. You can find me, obviously on YouTube, on Twitter/X, Instagram, and then I just got a Twitch. And yeah, so you guys can follow me at Christopher V2 on all platforms. And Thanks for watching, guys. Give me a like, subscribe to your boy, and let's go Texans, man.